Well, you got I guess a relatively young group now. How do you feel like they're coming along?
I think they're doing good. I mean, 9 practices, and we have some youth, but we have some older guys that have been in the system and have heard the language and heard the calls, and really proud of them. I mean, through 9 practices, they've done a great job of playing together and learning, and I'm just super pleased so far.
Is this a lot different than last year, though, because you had so many veterans as far as your coaching?
Yeah, it's different. It's a new challenge, and I like it because it forces you to go to the roots of your teaching, go to the base level, and really just kind of rebuild it from the ground up. And that's a fun thing as a coach. You got guys that are eager, hungry, and they're soaking it up, and it's been a lot of fun, and so I've enjoyed it.
What's the biggest way in which you can tell whether or not new guys get it in like the spring period?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple levels. There's multiple levels to it. I think, like football IQ part, we talk a lot in our room about the only way you know that you know it is if you could teach it. And so, we really challenge our guys every day in meetings. Do you know exactly what you're doing, or are you just listening to somebody else? So I think there's a football IQ piece of just knowing the system, knowing the scheme, the inner, hey, they play this front, we make this call. They rotate the safeties like this, we make this call. They bump the linebackers like this on this shift, we got to make this call. And so that's heavy, and we demand a lot out of our guys when it comes to that. And then I think physically, I think you just gotta see them put their face on somebody, and they have contact courage. Are they backing down? Are they backing down from veteran D linemen? Are they in the fight? Are they face turners, or are they putting their face on somebody? And so, I think there's 2 levels to it, because somebody might be ready mentally but not ready physically, and vice versa. So it's there's just different levels to it.
Eric, your relationship maybe help with the Barrington brothers getting them here, or how much relationship did you have with them?
I think I would say that's probably the reason they're here. Yeah. I never coached Campbell at BYU, nor did I recruit him, but I coached Clark for 2 years, and so when Clark made the decision to play another season and go in the portal, I felt like that was a no-brainer. And then when Campbell got in the portal, knowing his dad and knowing the family, I think that was a huge help, obviously. And I think those guys, their parents appreciated how I coached them how I coached Clark when I was at BYU, and I think that was probably a big reason why they're in Texas, and probably for some warmer weather too, despite today.
Particularly with the need, with losing all those 5th and 6th year guys, how big was that to get, particularly to get Clark, a guy that has that much experience?
I think it's big. I think the portal is, for us, is to find guys that are a net positive both on and off the field. I think it's really important for me, if we're going to bring in a guy from another program, that he's going to fit in the room. And it's not just a skill level thing. It's not just, hey, is this guy a great player? It's just, is this guy going to fit? And I think just knowing their personalities, at least knowing Clark's personality, I knew that he was going to be a great fit with the room we had coming back. And they've been nothing but humble and hungry and been all that we would hope they would be.
With him having probably maybe the most game reps of any guy on the line in college football, how much do you tell him, hey, you got to come in here and be a leader, even if this is a new room for you?
Well, I think, me and Clark had a lot of talks about how to go about this, because you are a veteran player with a lot of accolades and All-American stuff attached to your name. But at the end of the day, this is still a new room, and it's like being a free agent in the NFL. Like, you don't just show up and pound your chest and act like the alpha day one. We talked a lot one-on-one and just about, hey, you got to come in here and you got to earn respect first. earn trust, and then you can be a leader. And once people know what kind of worker and person you are, then you can find your way to lead. And we talk all the time in our room. Everybody has their own way to lead. I don't want anybody to try and be me. I want our guys to lead in their personalities, how they would lead, and that's how our guys are doing it.
Who are some of those guys who stepped up into leadership roles that were already in the room?
Yeah, I would say that Tate Williams has done a great job of being a leader. I would say, Elijah's done a good job. Gavin has done a good job. Just guys that have been here, have learned the language, have gone through the off seasons. I feel like all of them have done a really good job with that.
How about Gavin and his experience here especially? How much does that help?
It's great. Gavin has been here and won and competed and won big-time ball games. And he's been on the field for big-time moments for our team. And so having the experience and the skins on the wall, how we say it in our room, he's got skins on the wall. I mean, he's been in the fight, he's been in the grind, he's battled against great players in this conference, and he's whooped them, And so when you have a guy like that, you feel good about it.
Had Campbell played any center?
You mean Clark?
Yeah, I guess. Who's that center?
Clark's playing center.
Clark is, okay.
I mean, as far as I know, no, I never played him at center at BYU, and I don't think he played any center there at all. So it's been a lot of it's been new, but at the same time, like me and Clark have been in a lot of wars together too, and been in a lot of game preps, and been in a lot of meetings, and so he's heard the same language from me and the same coaching points for a long time, and he played with great centers. He played with great centers there at BYU, and so he knows the position and has really done a good job.
Any young guys that you're looking at that maybe need to take that next step?
I mean, we got a lot of young freaks in the room. I mean, you look out there and you look at our young players. I mean,
They look the part.
they're freaky. I mean, we got some dudes there's a lot of guys right now that have 4 years eligibility. They're going to make a lot of money playing football someday, and so they're coming along great. I've been super impressed with them, and they've all taken huge steps. I mean, every single guy's had a rep where you can say, wow, that looks like an NFL player, and he's still got 4 years left. So really excited about all the youth, the young talent on the team, in the room. I mean, it's a good, talented room.
That's the group of maybe mainly redshirt freshmen, I guess? Or?
Yeah, all them boys at redshirt last year. Yeah, I mean, we signed 6 players in that class, and they can all play.
Is that the thing that helps you sleep at night when you think about this room and maybe the lack of game experience, but the fact that, okay, they're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I sleep pretty good just because I like our guys. I like our room. They're good people. They work really hard. They care about the game. They like to play. And so, a lot of people make a lot of, hoopla about returning starts, how many starts you got coming back on your O-line. And, I mean, I think that's one of the silliest things to talk about. And it's the only reason they talk about it is because they don't have any other stats for offensive linemen. And so there's like, this guy's started this many games. Well, that doesn't really mean anything. You don't get your first start until you start your first game. And then all of a sudden it's like you're the man now because you started a couple games. And really people don't consider how you played. And so I think just the effort, the attention to detail, the eagerness that the guys are showing and how much they want to learn, how much they want to get better, that's really the key, the drill. And, everybody's going to get their first start and they're going to get a little blood on their lip and they're going to have to spit the blood in the bucket and they have to go back in there and fight. And then all of a sudden they're not a new guy anymore. Now everybody will anoint them that they're some great player because they started some games. So that's just not how the game works. And so I think if we got to prep for every game like it's the most important thing. And so we'll worry about Texas State and whoever starts or gets their first start or gets their first action, they'll have to play well and then there'll be another one.